Good afternoon, my name is Steve Knutson. I'm the Outside Plant Product Manager at Clearfield. And today we're here to talk about bringing cables, bringing ducts, bringing drop cables into the skid case. As you get the skid case from Clearfield, it comes with a back plane, you've got a base, there's also a cover and a clamp which are not included here. But you also get a number of items in terms of grommets, different size grommets, the branch port plug, as well as a cable diameter tool, some isopropyl alcohol, and 2 tubes of grease. And part of the things you're going to need for this, you're going to need a couple of tools. One, a can wrench to take out your swept plugs, a knife if you're going to be doing drop cable, and you also need a clipper just to go ahead and trim off any excess or the rubber on the grommets. One of the items you will need to do before you start is to prep your cable. In this particular case, I've got a mock-up version here, but your incoming cable, if you're going to be expressing them through, you have to prep your cable per your industry practices. This particular one, I've only got 4 feet, but on a 48 fiber cable, you can store up to 10 feet of slack in here. On a 96 fiber cable, up to 6 feet of slack. Let's get started. First thing you want to do is identify your cable diameter. Included in your kit is a little measuring piece, and what you do is you wrap that around the cable, and it'll come up with a number on the inside. There's detailed instructions in there as well. This particular one happens to come up with a 6. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our branch port plug, and it's labeled 4 in the middle. So 4 is your starting point. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take out the 4 and then 2 additional grommets. I'm just going to cut them out so I have my 6 ports. Okay, so what I've done is I've taken out the 4 and then 2 additional ones, so I've got 5 and 6, so it matches my cable diameter. Now we're ready to go through and enter the cable into the system. On entering this branch port grommet, could be a little bit difficult. So what I recommend is when you do this is lubricate with our grease both the outside of the grommet itself and the inside seal in here. So let's go through and do that. We'll take our grease, in this particular case, and it's just axle grease. And you go ahead and lubricate the inside of the base. And what this does, this grease actually is absorbed into the rubber grommet at some point in time, and it makes it so it's easier to slide the grommet in, but at the same point in time it will not come out once this thing is all dried up. So we'll go ahead and we'll lubricate the side of this as well. And if you happen to get any axle grease on your hands, we do have isopropyl alcohol wipes in here as well to get it off. So now what you do is you take your prepped cable, and you've got this looped up and you've got it all prepped. Carefully take the looped end of it here, feed it through the branch grommet in here, making sure not to kink any fibers. And as you go, you keep pulling it out. In this particular instance, like I said, it just got it stubbed off, but normally you'd have your loops of cable out here. So what I'm going to do now is I've got my branch grommet coming up in here. I'm going to take my grommet that I've got all pre-lubed up. I'm going to wrap it around the cable on both sides like that. And I'm going to basically put it back into the place, into the hole in the base. Now this particular one happens to be kind of like I say, it's kind of a tight fit. But what you do is you take that and you work it down inside of the unit. Just like that. And then you can go back in, press it down so it's actually indented a little bit. Now once you've got this in place, before you do anything else on here, you probably want to wait about 5 to 6 minutes or so, just to make sure this grease is all absorbed, and then you can go through and you can work on your cables. And that's basically what you do to bring in your drop or your feeder cable into the unit. Once you've got this in place, you can just take some paper towels, little wet paper towels or isopropyl alcohol, wipe everything down so it's good and secure. And then you can see we've got the cables in place with the grommet in place, which actually are indented and recessed in here. And right now we're at a point where they will not move, they will not come out. So let's go ahead and add some drop cables, either a flat drop cable or one of our field shield ducts. Okay, now that we've got our feeder cable in here, and I've taken it out for this demonstration just so you can see it, we're going to install a flat drop cable as well as one of our field shield microduct into the unit itself. First thing you do is take a standard can wrench, take out the swept plugs that you want to have in here, and basically this is a two-part plug. Top and bottom, it's got an O-ring grommet on the bottom, so we'll take both of those out. We're taking out the swept plugs. Again, these are a sealed unit. There's up to 16 different ports on here, so you have multiple applications where you can take those. And we'll identify the grommets that you need. Now, for your flat drop cable, what you do, we've got a grommet that's labeled 3-4, and you can see it will not fit in here. What we'll do is you take your knife and you'll split it, cut it down the side, just like we did with our larger branch part grommet cable. So now I've got this on the outside. Okay, so I'm taking my fiber and I've run it up on the bottom side, wrap my grommet right around it, go back to my axle grease, and on this particular one, all you have to do is grease the outside of the grommet. You don't need to do the inside because this area is small enough where you don't have to worry about that. You take that and grease it down. Okay, so again, now I've got the fiber that I've run up from the bottom. I take my grommet and or the split grommet, put it around the outside, run it so it gets started on the inside of the unit here, and then pull it down. And you can actually use the cable itself to help pull this down on the inside. Push it down inside so it's nice and seated just like the other one was. And that's all you have to do to add a flat drop cable. Same concept applies to our field shield duct. We go back in, we find the correct tubing. In this case, it's a number 5/6 that fits on here. What we'll do is go back in, lubricate the grommet again, just like we did before. Okay, simply bring your duct in, run it in through the inside for whatever hole you want to put it through. Put that grommet back on here. Get it started in the unit. You can actually use the field shield microduct to help pull it down. Get it in place, and then lock it in place until it's down, seated just below the base itself. And that's all it takes to basically go through and add either a fiber flat drop cable or one of our field shield microducts. Hopefully this video will help you to answer any questions. We also have a very detailed installation manual that goes through this step by step, so if you have any questions, feel free to look at the manual or, again, look at the video. My name is Steve Knudsen. I'm with Clearfield. If you have any other questions, please contact your local field sales rep. Okay.
Just keep going.
Please contact your field sales representative or take a look at our website at www.clearfieldconnections.com. Thank you and have a great day.